This week on All Star Fandom, we talk about the newest addition to the Star Wars galaxy, the universe that's built, Ahsoka. We saw our first pop up in Mandalorian, so we're going to talk about episode 1 and episode 2 of her own series. I'm joined by my big dog, Roof Dog, again this week. And, and we're going to give our opinions on the first 2 episodes. How were they? Did we like it? And where we sort of see the series going. So let's not waste any more time. Ahsoka on All Star Fandom. Let's talk about it. Welcome to All Star Fandom. This week we talk Ahsoka, but before we jump into that, be sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all the social media stuff. We're on Instagram at All Star Fandom Show, and here on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, share with a friend. Do it for me. I do it for you. Now, without further ado, Roof Dog, you joining me again this week, man. We're going to be running down these reviews of Ahsoka. Say hello to the people, man.
Hey, what's up, people? How y'all doing? I'm back again for another episode, 2 times in a row, baby.
So what Roof and I are going to be doing, we're going to be giving our reviews weekly, hopefully with all the, editing that goes into this one. But these are going to be general reviews, so these are going to be easier to get out. So before we start this, I can say with Ahsoka that we saw her pop up in Mandalorian, and then we saw we knew of her, correct? But I'm on another side of this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna toss over to Rufus, sort of give his review of the first 2 episodes or his opinions,
okay,
and then I'll come back with whatever I have. So Rufus, the first 2 episodes, one was 56 minutes, one was 44. Pretty long pieces of Star Wars content, right? Your opinion on those first 2 episodes.
Okay. Look, first off, hey, people, how y'all doing again? Once again, it's your boy, Big Dog. Check this out. I thoroughly enjoyed both episodes. I really did. I'm going to be honest with you. I went into this with an open mind because I really don't know much about Ahsoka. Yeah. I really don't. I didn't watch any of the clone stuff of the Star Wars episodes, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So when she popped up in The Mandalorian, I was really like, hey, who is this? So I was curious. And I, saw her in actions, saw how she get down. I was like, okay, she kind of tight. So watching the first episode, when it first started, for me, I need that action. And I need that suspenseful music that get me built up into it. It started off like I wanted it to. I mean, they came out with it.
Okay, so your general assessment, if I'm picking this up, you absolutely, and you probably I think you even said it, you loved the first 2 episodes of this show.
I thoroughly enjoyed them, sir.
Okay, if we're just going generalities right here, right?
Yeah.
Right out the gate.
Out the gate. Hey, y'all, he ain't like it. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all, he ain't like. You look at his face. Look at his face, y'all. All right, go ahead, dog.
Okay. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying it didn't hold my attention. I felt lost. And let me tell you, I gave you your floor, man. This is my time. I'm reclaiming my time.
You did.
So
get on it.
So here's where I was at. It started off, I was super interested about it, right? It had that Star Wars feel from that opening run, right? It was different, but you were like, okay, it's Star Wars. My initial idea when I saw the show was like, man, before I even watched it, I really hope it has like that Mandalorian style sort of impact, where it's like we're telling this new story with this new character that a lot of people see this as a new character because not a lot of people watch Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, right? So since that is all sort of canon now, you're like, okay, I didn't watch that. And I think the show does a lot of assuming that you did.
Right.
And and that's where I felt lost. Like you can still pick up the beats, the stories, whatever happened, you can pick it up. But I think, what was it, Ezra? I would have felt his impact a lot more if I had known and watched like Clone Wars and all the animated stuff leading up to this. So for me, I felt lost, but at the same time, I was keeping up with it, but it was slower than I expected. because yes, they're building a world, but come on, man, like everything can't be that back there. I get it, right? It
Yeah.
can't be. But we started off like an old school Western with Mandalorian. The Mandalorian, like, do you remember obviously like Gunsmoke and Rifleman and all that stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
A tight 21 minutes. Here's the problem. Here's the problem solver, and we solve that problem at the end, right? And we move to the next
Yeah.
adventure. Sort of like kung fu, right? Like David Carradine goes from town to
Well,
town, right?
hold on. Let me pause you right quick. Let me pause you right quick because I think I know where you're going with this.
Uh-huh.
We can't really compare the Mandalorian to
And I told
Ahsoka
you,
because he
we couldn't.
is a gunslinger.
Exactly. I told you that we couldn't, but I thought it was going to be as impactful to a degree as that was when it started. You have an opportunity to tell a lot of good stories with this character.
Yeah.
And she's a really, I mean, obviously people love her. Even when she showed up in Mandalorian, I never watched Clone Wars. I tried a few episodes, but
Yeah,
like
I did too.
it was never. I don't know. I never latched on to it. So, but I feel like they do a lot of assuming that we know the backstory, and so I feel like the
Yeah.
first two episodes was trying to do a way of like, okay, let's tell new people like what's going on here. Like let's do a
Mm.
lot of explaining, I guess, to the degree of like this is where we are. So from an action standpoint, I wish there was more. Um, I like her. I like their fight with the droids. I like her dueling lightsabers. By the way, man, like
Oh hell yeah!
the way she cut that
Oh
that
yeah,
hole in
that
that ground
yeah,
with the force and brought it
dude.
back. See, there's good stuff about it, and I want to like it. I feel like I'm out of the loop a bit, and that's okay, right? Because you're on this story too. But I would love to know, like, if I knew Ezra from the story, how more impactful that would have been when I saw it like in live action right now. So a lot of people
Right.
who watched it are getting a way better experience, in my opinion, than people who haven't. Um, but they use, like I said, they use the whole two episodes to explain a lot. And
Yeah.
the second episode, what at minutes, maybe like the last 17 minutes of that show was like the action part of it.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I wanted more of. Like you have this opportunity to play around with the character now, who's a Jedi, who we really don't have at the moment in this gap of time, this time period where we're at. Let's. I think I wanted Mandalorian style level of impact in my life, and it didn't give me
So,
that. But I'm
see,
gonna wait
look,
and see. I'm gonna wait and see because it's only two episodes. I'm not sure how many episodes they got for a run, but I'm hoping just for me because you like action.
yes.
Your favorite what two letters action, right? Like or something like that. You said yeah, that's what you said. Two letters, two words, or action, whatever you
Two
say. I
words.
can't remember.
2 words.
But
That's 2 words, dog.
I wanted more of that because you have the opportunity to do this with this character. But I know we have to figure all this other stuff with Ezra and Sabine and they're big bad for that series. But I don't want to take up too much more of the time here. But that's just where I sort of landed personally.
So I only got one more thing to say. So remember how it was with Boba Fett when it
Yeah.
first started? That's kind of how you're feeling right now. Because I felt the exact same way with Boba Fett. When it started out, you was like, hey, stick with it. It's going to get better. All I can say is stick with it. I believe it's going to get better for you as far as the experience goes with you watching the show.
I will say when it comes to Boba Fett, because apparently people have been crapping on Boba Fett since it came out, or people are
Yeah.
a little bit. But for me, I was like, all right, I liked his story with the Sand People.
Yeah.
I enjoyed learning that backstory because this is what he's doing when all this other stuff is going on. Like his little pocket of time here and everything, all this stuff in the Star Wars universe has happened up to this point. Okay, cool. But for this, at least Boba Fett didn't have that big of a story in the movies. Let's be honest. Like he showed up here and there, but he became this cult-like figure of a character.
Yeah, like
That
everybody followed him because And I believe it was because of like the Clone Wars and shit, because he's a clone, or he had several of him,
Yeah, it
several.
was him. Yeah.
He had several bodies cloned or whatever. It was a lot of him, and he was a very impactful bounty hunter. So everybody fucking love him.
Well,
You know what
that
I'm
was
saying?
yeah, because Boba, he was a kid in the prequels, so it was
Uh,
Django Fett, right? So, but other than that, man, I want to, because again, this cast, I can't say anything about like the cast that they put together. I can't say anything else about like the acting quality of it. It was that's perfect. Like Ray Stevenson, he passed away in May of this year, and you can tell like his performance is going to be pretty good. I'm not sure if he finished the show.
yes,
He probably did or didn't. I'm not sure. I didn't check,
man.
but I know the acting and stuff's going to be good. It's just that there's just a lot of like story and building up stuff and explaining other easier. I mean, not easier, tougher than it was for Boba, because all you had to do is say, "How the hell did he get out? Like, how the hell did he survive?"
Right.
Once you clear that up, the world is your oyster, man. You can write whatever you want for Boba Fett, but we know the character, right? And we know Ahsoka, but I didn't see her growing
Well,
up as Anakin's apprentice, you know,
here's my thing. That's what I was going to say.
or
Look, one of
her
the coolest
Padawan.
things you found out, one of the coolest things you found out in that whole show, that she was Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. Now, just think about that for a minute.
Well,
I'm trying to see where this story goes. You feel me? And
well,
I really, in my mind, I kind of want to know why she didn't go to the dark side with her master being who he was. You
well.
feel me?
Apparently, well, they hinted at it that said that Anakin didn't complete like her training,
Right. He didn't.
right?
So she's really not a Jedi. You know what I'm saying?
In certain, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
But
loosely.
she still had Padawan as well. You know, Sabine. You
Yeah,
feel me? So I guess somehow, some way, she finished her training with another master, and I guess she did become a Jedi, just not fully trained by Anakin.
and I'm anxious. Like that story alone sort of got me watching a few of those episodes. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you this now, Rufus. Will you go back and try to watch the Clone Wars now?
I've tried to watch the Clone Wars, and I'm not gonna lie. When I tell you I tried, like I sat there and I made myself like watch 3 episodes in a row, and I was like, I can't do this shit.
Okay,
Oh
so
shit, I'm sorry, my bad.
there's
Uh,
it's
it got to that point where I was sitting there just staring at the screen, like, dude, I don't care about this part. If that makes sense.
do you now though?
I
Has
can't say
it
I still do. What I just really want to watch her story.
true?
You know what I'm
But
saying?
if they're gonna continue to sort
But
of do like
I was gonna say
callbacks,
if I have to go back and try to comb through whatever it is they got on the Clone Wars, I would have to. But right now, I just really want to enjoy it. So, like the first 2 episodes for me, I didn't have to know nothing about the Clone Wars. I just watching the story for the story of it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I get it.
So
But
I was just enjoying that, like trying to figure. I'm sitting here like trying to figure out the puzzle. Now, one thing that made me think, like, how did she figure out that puzzle to get to the actual map? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like it's little stuff like that, because playing God of War, you figuring out and Resident Evil, figuring out maps and shit. That really got
it.
my attention.
You know what I thought about when I saw that scene? I thought about, and this might be totally unrelated to the story of anything, but it's just I always think about those scenes when people figure out things and how
Mm-hmm.
like how it doesn't. It's not like how we like regular people in day to
Right,
day life figure out stuff. It's just
right.
like a boat hits them, and they like slowly walk up to whatever it is, and then fiddle faddle
Right.
with it a little bit, and boom, it's done.
But hold on. That actually does happen
Okay, it does. Don't
for
get me
me,
wrong.
especially with what I do.
But then we go back to it. What may and I may have missed it, Rufus. I'm not gonna lie, man. It dragged for me. It did. I didn't want
Are
it
you talking about
dragged for
like
me
the second episode, or the first episode?
a little bit of both because it was a lot of explaining, and it was with Sabine's character. I kind of wanted to. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. How like she was like so super tech savvy to be able to figure stuff out.
Right.
And we find out that she's a Mandalorian too. So
right.
If I don't hear that, yeah. If I better hear that at least one episode this season. But I digress. Anyway.
But look, all in all, man, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes, dog. Like, I look forward to the rest of the season. Like you said, we can't even count how many more episodes we may have.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't look up, see how many.
I can take a stab at it. I'm going to say maybe we have 6, just like everything else, maybe 6 to 10. So that'll be cool. I'm just looking forward to seeing where the story lies.
So given what we know now, given that she's being put on the Mandalorian helmet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm anxious to know again timeline stuff, right? Like, is this is still during Mando's time, right?
It has to be. Remember, it has to be because he knows Ahsoka.
Well, I'm trying to remember. Remember when Grogu was training with Luke, and she was there too. So I'm guessing this is like after that, which will line up really well with what the Mandalorians are doing with going out and finding their people too. So I'm figuring there's going to be like some crossover there, probably with her.
Yeah, so, I was figuring it's going to be a crossover, but I was thinking this is probably before she met Grogu.
You think
so? I'm thinking so because this got the witch involved, and they're looking for the old admiral from the war. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And they made sure.
So I'm thinking. That's why I said I think this is before she met Grogu.
Okay, I'm hoping that it's after. If that's just her story that she's doing now, but even like with Thrawn, like Thrawn is like part of like the I don't know if it's canon. It probably is now but there was a series of books with him as the villain, and I guess I'm not sure if he was a villain in obviously in Clone Wars or Rebels or whatever, right? So it's giving. It's assumed. I don't want to be that person that's just critiquing.
It makes you. This is gonna make.
I feel like I'm leaving out
the homework.
I feel like I'm being left out. That's what I feel like it. I was like, I should have watched those damn episodes, man, and just drudge through them to know like, here's the characters, here's the story, here's how he died. Is Ezra even alive or dead?
Right.
That's what we're finding out. It would feel a whole lot better for me, I think, if I sort of knew, but I think that's a personal problem. So like I
said, look, I'm not finna go back and try to watch them, bro. I'm just waiting every week let me get the next. You feel me?
I hear you, man. I'm gonna try to watch them. I might not. There's a lot of seasons, man. There's a lot of Clone Wars seasons.
Yeah,
or
there
whatever.
Are. Yeah,
I might just have to find. Might just have to find YouTube synopsis.
That was back in the day. Back in the day when they had the writers was just sitting there just writing. Yeah. You know, we ain't got that now. So we don't have that now.
So Rufus, anything else you want to say about Ahsoka?
No, I just look, people, go watch it for yourself. Y'all judge it for yourself. Y'all drop us a comment. My opinion is I enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing what the rest of the season has to hold for us.
And I'm not down on it like Rufus said that I was. I'm just. It was. I felt out of the loop, man. Rufus know I don't like feeling out of the loop, but again, it's a personal problem. I might go back and look through a synopsis or so of the Clone Wars just to get some idea of what all happened before where we are now. Now, great opportunity to do some I don't know, some PTSD sort of flashbacks probably. To show us what was happening. Again, PTSD is a terrible thing, but just use it as a. I
was going to say, let's not use that acronym.
But using a flashback, to say, for lack of a better term. Using that to sort of tell the story of what's happened before where we are now. And they could probably do that. They probably will. But I'm still on this ride. I love Ahsoka. Rosario Dawson is phenomenal on it. I think the rumor on that was that a fan art came out of her as Ahsoka. So that got her interested in the role to play Ahsoka. Really? Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
I'll look
But
it up
I'm
and make
glad
sure I can verify it.
if that happened, I'm so happy.
Yeah, whoever
I'm so
did
happy.
that, if that's real,
Come on now. Look,
yeah.
come on.
Hopefully Rosario Dawson's breaking him off a little piece of that check from Disney. Whoever did it.
Hey man, that's like as close to perfect casting as it comes, other than my boy Henry Cavill Superman.
Let's not talk about that.
I
So
already know.
that was so this finishes up this week. Oh god, James Gunn lied again. Anyway, that's been this week's episode and review of Ahsoka. It's the first two episodes. Next episode is going to be every Wednesday. Rufus and I are going to be right back here, hopefully on those Thursday, Fridays, to sort of drop our reviews of those episodes and get a little bit more in depth than we did here. Because again, we are out of the loop with the Clone Wars and all, but it's Star Wars. This property is good. Their TV shows have been great. I mean, I'm not worried at all. It's just that I don't like being left out of the loop. I'm a nosy person, apparently. Anyway, be sure to follow All Star Fandom on Instagram at All Star Fandom Show. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all the social media stuff. Drop your comment of your first two episodes of Ahsoka. What do you think? How do you feel about the first two? Were they good? Were they bad? Where did you feel indifferent? Whatever you feel like, just drop it down there and below. And we might read some of those if we get a few comments. We never know.
Yes, we will.
So, Rufus, again, thank you for jumping on. Love the t-shirt. And until next time, we'll be back right here on All Star Fandom next week. Peace.